What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I am Anthony K. Thomas of Wrestling with Rumors, and this is the Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 recap. What's up, y'all? It has been an incredible weekend I will say that this weekend really started on Friday. The SmackDown, the last SmackDown before WrestleMania. Great show. The Hall of Fame ceremony was an emotional roller coaster. And to watch Lex Luger be able to stand up for as long as he did to give his Hall of Fame speech was incredible. And to listen to Michelle McCool's inspirational speech about we are enough exactly how we are. Amen, we are. It was a great speech, but the emotional speech that Shawn Michaels gave for Triple H and then Triple H giving his speech, yes, it did run a little bit long, but I don't think any of us really cared. I know I didn't care. I was there for it. So the Hall of Fame was a great night. Very emotional night, and that was fun. Waking up the next morning, and first thing I watch when I wake up is Stand and Deliver. And Stand and Deliver was our official kickoff to WrestleMania weekend. I know a lot of people will say that the kickoff really started with either SmackDown or with the Hall of Fame, and that would be true. But I think as far as events go, as far as the squared circle goes, and I saw Stand and Deliver really setting the bar for what was going to be 2 incredible days of WrestleMania. So let us get into everything first. That was Stand and Deliver, and we're starting off with the kickoff show. In the kickoff show, there was a match. It was Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, and versus Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, and Fatal Influence, and it was in a fatal 4-way. I am sorry, I forgot who the other team was. But it was in a fatal 4-way, and Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley ends up winning that fatal 4-way tag team match to get their shot at who was going to win at WrestleMania Night 2 for the Women Tag Team Championships. As far as Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez walks out on Cora in the middle of the match, leaving her to take the L, which gave Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan the win. So I am sorry, it was the Meta Girls was the other team that was part of it. My bad. Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, absolutely. I feel foolish that I forgot that was the other team. They're a hell of a team. Anyway, so Gigi Dolan, Tatum Paxley, getting that number 1 contenders match in that fatal 4-way match. Good for them. I will bring up who won that tag team championship match later on in a little bit. But moving on, first official match of the night for Stand and Deliver was Ricky Sainz versus Ethan Page for the North American Championship. Starting this match off, Ricky Sainz, Ethan Page, history, and a good chunk of that history definitely comes from the independents and of course in AEW. So to have these two face off against each other in a WWE ring on NXT Stand and Deliver, this was a good match. We know what these two can do in the ring. We know what these two can do in the ring against each other. So to see that, it was a great match, and Ricky Sainz walks out still North American champion as he's only begun his championship run in NXT. Up next match was Hake and Tank versus Fraxium for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This was one of my favorite matches of the night of Stand and Deliver. Hank and Tank went through a period for the last couple of weeks of just losing against all these tag teams, match after match and match, trying to find themselves, and then finally running into this tag team, the Street Profits, and the Street Profits telling them, just be yourselves, be who you've always been. And once Hank and Tank realize that, they go through the gauntlet match and they just destroyed. They were the first ones in and they were the last ones out, and they were incredible in that gauntlet match. Only to become number one contenders and then go on to Stand and Deliver, where they're going to face who has been an unstoppable team in Fraxium. The only time Fraxium has really lost their tag team championships was against Chase U, and that was the only time they lost, and then they won them back instantly. It was like Chase U won that championship match. They were able to celebrate, and then the next time they had a championship match, Fraxium had their rematch. Fraxium won their championships back, and it's been on ever since. But Fraxium has been an unstoppable team for almost a year. And Hank and Tank just brought that extra oomph that you need to beat a tag team like Fraxium. When you got Nathan Frazier and you got Axiom, these guys were unstoppable together. And Hank and Tank brought that extra oomph and became new NXT Tag Team Champions, which is amazing. And I feel like Fraxium is about to head to the main roster. Whether they keep them together as a team or they separate them and put them on separate brands, we will find out. We'll figure that out when we get to that point. But I feel like this is some new blood holding tag team championships, which is amazing. And Fraxium, I believe, is heading off to the main roster. Before I get to the next match, I want to go back to, I'll come back to Roxanne Perez in a little bit. Let me just keep on going. So, up next, it was Thea Hell versus Sol Ruca versus Zarya versus Lola Vice versus Izzy Dane versus Kalani James in a ladder match for the vacant Women's North American Championship, a championship that Stephanie Vaquer dropped in order to give the women in the back more opportunity so that she doesn't have to go overtime in defending both championships. Focus on the one championship, let the women have an opportunity at the other one fairly. So that's what this ladder match was. And this was another one of my favorite matches from Stand and Deliver. The women killed this match. And to see Sol Ruca climb to the top of the ladder and capture the Women's North American Championship, for her to win the North American Championship, I always had a feeling that she was going to eventually become a Women's North American Champion, because when Kalani James first won the North American Championship, one of her first opponents was Sol Ruca, and Sol Ruca came so close against Kalani James that it was only when Sol Ruca gets her hands on that North American Championship, and that was this past Saturday at Stand and Deliver, where she became the Women's North American Champion. I'm so happy for her. It was a great moment for her, and it was a great women's ladder match. Up next, this was the Tony D'Angelo family versus Dark State. Now, this match was really about Dark State and really showing themselves as a team on one of the biggest stages of NXT. And that is exactly what happened in this match. Now, when it comes to Stax, who is the underboss within the family, I always had this. I started seeing the turn coming for Stax, and I feel that it really started at when Tony D'Angelo put his North American Championship on the line against Shawn Spears, and what Stax accidentally did in that match costing Tony D'Angelo the North American Championship, giving Sean Spear that championship. That's where I started to see that turn started to happen. That's where I started questioning Stacks. And Stacks played it off and said it was an accident. I'm sorry. But slowly over time, Stacks was just really starting to not listen to Tony D'Angelo or verbally fight D'Angelo on certain things that Tony D'Angelo had. And during that match, before that match started, as the family makes their entrance, Stacks looks at the Tron. No, well, not the Tron. The LED lights that has Tony D'Angelo's face, his face on it, and he's looking at it. And I'm like, when he's looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay. This is when he's turning. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen after the match or during the match, and it happened during the match. Stacks turns on Tony D'Angelo, and giving Dark State the win. But honestly, this was really a win that Dark State needed to have, because everything that Dark State did to say that no one is safe, even though they got a win against Obafemi and Javon Evans and Trick Williams, even though they got a win against them, those three were competing against each other for the NXT Championship, and they were just not cooperating as a team. So yeah, that was an easy win for Dark State in that sense. This win was absolutely necessary for Dark State to win, because then all that stuff they did wouldn't be worth it. It would have just been for nothing. So it was absolutely necessary for them to get that win. And now that they got the win, where they go from here is just, it should be an interesting ride to watch where they go from here. And with Cutler, part of Dark State, as we're also watching, for some of us who are watching him right now on LFG, that's kind of fun to see. It's kind of like getting that behind the scenes of Cutler, of what he's doing on Team Bubba and as he's building himself up, and then to watch what he's doing right now as part of Dark State. It's kind of cool to see both sides of the coin on that one. Next match was Jordynne Grace, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Jada Parker all battling for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm gonna just be real with you when I say this, that this was a favorite match of mine on Stand and Deliver. But honestly, just about every match on Stand and Deliver was a good match, and were all my favorite matches in some way. This match is no different. Jordynne Grace, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Jada Parker. Jada Parker. Let me take a minute with Jada Parker. Jada Parker showed up and showed out in this match. She is absolutely a future NXT Women's Champion. There is no doubt in my mind. Jada Parker is a future main eventer in the main roster. There is no doubt in my mind about that. Stephanie Vaquer retains her NXT Women's Championship matches. Great match. Awesome match. All of the women in this match showed up and showed out, and they were fantastic. And what happens next is only about building to getting to May and NXT Battleground. So where we go, what the lead up will be to that, we will watch as we go. Main event, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. This was a fight forever type of match. There was no weak links. There were no losers really in this match. Every single Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, all of them proved why they get the main event spot. Javon Evans, at 20 years old, had an opportunity and came so close of making history as not just the youngest NXT champion, but to be the youngest champion in WWE history ever, and came so close at achieving that. Trick Williams was looking to capture number 3 of NXT championships, and Obafemi was just in there just to show why, to prove and show why he is the ruler of NXT. Great match. Overall, Oba wins this match, retaining his NXT championship as of course the ruler of NXT. And the future for Obafemi is so bright that I'm gonna need some sunglasses, because damn, Obafemi, man, when he gets that call up to the main roster, every man on the main roster, look out, because Obafemi, when he comes, he's coming and he's gonna rule. He'll be the ruler of Raw. He'll be the ruler of SmackDown. He'll get to a point where he's just the ruler of WWE. I'm already seeing a match where it's the ruler versus the tribal chief. Now, I know I'm getting way ahead of myself in a match like that, but just to imagine that kind of match, I'm goosebumps on that. That was great. Now, Stand and Deliver from start to finish, they set the bar for WrestleMania, and Stand and Deliver was a great event. Loved every match. As far as we got NXT, so NXT this coming Tuesday, Stax is going to explain himself, and as far as Roxanne Perez goes and Cora Jade go, whether or not they get they're going to take this somewhere, I do not know. When Roxanne Perez ran off, I feel like that was her running off to the main roster. And I'll explain why in a second. But let's get into, that was Stand and Deliver. Great event. Let's get into everything night 1 of WrestleMania. So, first match of the night was Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. This first match of the night set it off right. Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And Jey Uso winning the match was exactly how I felt it was going to go. And I say that because last year, WrestleMania 40, Gunther, when it walked into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Championship, and his opponent was Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn left it all in the ring last year at WrestleMania and defeated Gunther to become the Intercontinental Champion. Great WrestleMania moment. Let's skip ahead a year later. Here we are, WrestleMania 41. Gunther walks into WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. Very dominant, very brutal, all that stuff. And Jey Uso leaves it all in the ring and walks out WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion, making Gunther tap out. So happy for Jey Uso. Big moment. Big WrestleMania moment. I would tie that. I would tie it or even put it on top as main eventing with his brother Jimmy, with the tag team titles on the line. I dare say. But Jey Uso winning was, feel good, awesome match. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. New World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. Next match was New Day versus War Raiders. This was a good match. I did enjoy this match. This was a different New Day coming into WrestleMania, this tag match as heels, which is really the first ever, because whenever they came out bubbly, they came out hype, they came out with smiles, they came out ready to lay it out in the ring, but have a good time. This time they came out serious. They came out for business. They came out to do whatever it takes and whatever is necessary to win those World Heavyweight titles. And that's exactly what they did. They won, and they became the new World Heavyweight Champions, now holding the most tag team championships in WWE, 12. New Day, Usos is just below them. But New Day once again holding the title as most champion tag team championships as new world titles. That the thing though would between New Day and War Raiders, I don't think it's over. I think we get our rematch, and I think it's going to happen in a couple of weeks at Backlash. Moving on, next match, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Solid match from start to finish. This match was really about Jade Cargill getting the revenge and the win that she needed against Naomi. When Naomi made her entrance, she made her entrance in new ring gear, new music, new Tron video. It's just all a whole new heel side of Naomi. And I'm digging it. You know, I love how Naomi was able to adapt and change and reinvent herself. And this heel version of Naomi it's only the beginning. Naomi lost this match against Jade Cargill. This was a great WrestleMania moment for Jade Cargill to have in her first singles match at WrestleMania, and for her to win that match was incredible. So I'm very happy Jade Cargill got that win. And now to see where we go from here, whether Jade Cargill and Naomi have a run it back at like Backlash or something, we'll see. But as far as where we go from here, I'm just looking forward to it, and it was a great match. Up next was Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. And I gotta be real with you that I went into this match going into this match having a very good feeling that this was Jacob Fatu's the win. And I think I wasn't the only one that felt that way, I don't think. Jacob Fatu goes in, just dominates. I mean, LA Knight had some moves, laid it out on him, had his moments, but Jacob Fatu is a beast. And with no breaks, all gas, new United States champion Jacob Fatu. Honestly, this was a good night for the Anoa'i Fatu family, because we have Jimmy Uso and we have Jacob Fatu, part of the same family, both winning championships night one at WrestleMania. So that's a great night. And mark the calendars for April 11th and April 12th next year, 2026, WrestleMania 42, Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. It's been a minute, and I'm looking forward to everything that's going to be WrestleMania 42. But still on WrestleMania 41, night one, we move on to El Grande Americano, and the original match was El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. Excuse me. Out of control, and as things in life happen sometimes that are out of our control, Rey Mysterio got hurt on SmackDown, and filling in was Rey Fenix unexpectedly, and amazing, because Rey Fenix, when Rey Fenix made his debut, the idea I had in my head was okay, Rey Fenix now in WWE, now a WWE superstar, awesome. Next year he will make his WrestleMania debut. Then Rey Mysterio gets hurt, and then Rey Fenix fills in for that spot. And in one night, both Rey Fenix and Penta, these brothers, are making their WrestleMania debut the same weekend, which is an incredible thing for that family. So Rey Fenix, El Grande Americano, and I'm feeling like, okay, Rey Fenix, he's gonna put an end to this El Grande Americano, but I guess this El Grande Americano thing is gonna go for a little bit longer, because El Grande Americano, or Chad Gable, put the that metal piece thing between the mask so that no one can see it, and used it to get the win. So damn, is all I gotta say. Decent match, but damn. Up next was Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. This was Tiffany Stratton's greatest test. And it was on the biggest stage. It was her first WrestleMania match, and it was against Charlotte Flair. Go Tiffany Stratton, you know? And I went into this match rooting for Tiffany Stratton, feeling like Tiffany Stratton needed this win, had to get this win. I wouldn't have been surprised if it had went the other way, but it didn't. It went the way I was hoping it was going to go. Tiffany Stratton was battle tested against Charlotte Flair and came out the other side still the WWE Women's Champion. Great match. Very happy she won. I would have been good if Charlotte Flair won, but I'm more ecstatic for Tiffany Stratton because the run that she has had so far, it just adds to this, and it just adds to who she is as a competitor and a fighting champion. And she is now battle tested. And what comes next for Tiffany Stratton, I am all in for the ride, and especially for Charlotte Flair. I'm looking forward to see what comes next. If anything, once we do the whole WWE draft, she might get drafted to Raw and maybe go after the Women's World Championship. That is a championship she has not held before. So if anything, she might end up battling Io Sky for it. Anyway, main event, right? Main event. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. 5-star instant classic is all I got to say about this match. I love this match from start to finish. And Paul Heyman once again did the unthinkable, where he low blows both CM Punk and Roman Reigns in what I feel and what I am personally calling a turn of the century, as he ensures a victory for Seth Rollins. Now, I always felt that it had to be Seth Rollins that won this triple threat match. And I'm glad that it was Seth Rollins that won this triple threat match. But the way it was won and the turn that Paul Heyman did, I shouldn't be surprised that Paul Heyman would turn on Roman Reigns like he did and on CM Punk like he did, because it's Paul Heyman. But the way it was done, it's just shocking, because I don't think anyone ever expected to see Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins align together. And I think this is more than just a favor that Seth Rollins said Paul Heyman owed him. I think this is a true alliance, and I'm very much looking forward to hear what Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman have to say about this. Hopefully it will be on Raw. I know Paul Heyman will be on the Pat McAfee show. Or at least he was, depending on when you're watching this. But I am curious to hear what he has to say. If he doesn't say it if he did or didn't say it on the Pat McAfee show. I'm looking forward to hear it. So we'll go into that. But that was night 1 of WrestleMania was an incredible night. And after the post show, I took a few minutes and I chilled and I went to sleep because it was a long day. But it was a great day. And now next day, WrestleMania 2, and let's keep going. So WrestleMania night 2, we start off with Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. And this was absolutely one of the matches of the night. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair showed why they should have 100% why they should have been the main event. I understand why John Cena and Cody Rhodes were the main event. I understand that. But Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, what they did in this match, it was fast-paced, it was nonstop. It was a true triple threat battle for the Women's World Championship. This match absolutely could have been, and on any other WrestleMania card, would have been the main event. Io Sky retains her Women's World Championship, and I am so happy. I'm so happy that she won. She lit up the sky. She retained her championship. It was fast-paced. It was nonstop. Like I said, a true battle for the Women's World Championship, and I am so glad, so happy Io Sky came out on top, still our Women's World Champion. Next match was a Sin City Street Fight. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. This match, in every way, was a true war battle. True war. Tables, chairs, steel steps. You know, this street fight was definitely everything it could be. They kept it either in and outside of the ring, and they used it to their full advantage. This was a great match. Drew McIntyre taking a selfie with his brother's phone was great. Great match. Drew McIntyre gets a WrestleMania win in this match, and nothing else happened for Drew McIntyre. He got the win, and that was it for him. And that's all it needed to be. It wasn't like last year where he got the win for the world title and then did what he did to CM Punk, and then Damian Priest cashed in. None of that. He faced Damian Priest. He went to war. He came out on top. And that was it. And good. Up next, it was Randy Orton. And this match originally was Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is seriously hurt. Needs to have surgery on his neck. And he'll be out for, obviously he's out for the rest of the year. So if there's a chance for him to actually come back, I really want to say Royal Rumble. He could be a possible surprise entrance at the Royal Rumble. But with a neck injury, you don't want to rush that. You want it to you want to do the surgery. You want to make sure it's successful, and you want it to allow it to heal properly. So all I will say to Kevin Owens is, take care of yourself, heal up properly, take your time, and if you can come back, it'll be a great moment if and when you can come back. So Randy Orton comes to the ring wondering who's he going to face. I believe Joe Hendry. And it was Joe Hendry. And the speculation was, at first the speculation was Aleister Black, and then the vignette said that for 25/25, which is this Friday on SmackDown, and that will more than likely be the return of Aleister Black. So put him aside. So up next, it was possibly Rusev. And I know there was a lot of people that were thinking and maybe even hoping that it was Rusev. We officially welcome back Rusev, go back to Rusev Day. But it wasn't Rusev. It was Joe Hendry. And that was better, I would say. I will dare say it. That was better. Have Joe Hendry as Randy Orton's opponent. And this match, which was supposed to be like a serious, I'm going to get you back, you took me out kind of match, when it was supposed to be Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, turns around. It's about celebrating 20 years of Randy Orton. A fun match where I'm going to show off what I can do and have some fun. And that's exactly what this match was. Randy Orton won the match with an RKO. But this match was a fun match, and it was a debut for Joe Hendry at WrestleMania. Not in WWE because he's still with TNA, because he's still the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But that was his WrestleMania debut, and he even had his own WrestleMania shirt too, which was great. So first, and as Triple H said on the post show, first of many WrestleManias for Joe Hendry to come. So that's great news. That tells me that once his contract is up with TNA, he's signing he's got a contract waiting for him for WWE. So, I mean, if Triple H is saying you got plenty of WrestleManias to come, that's what that tells me. So I'm looking forward to that. But Randy Orton wins. Fun match. Next match, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. And I can say in this match that first I want to say you cannot deny Logan Paul's abilities in the ring. He does get better in the ring every time, and he is definitely made for it. And he said it himself. He's a professional wrestler, and I believe him when he says that. And he's fun to hate. You know, he's a hell of a heel, and how he acts in the ring is all heelish. So can't take that away from him. But also I will say that I think there was a majority of people who wanted to see AJ Styles win this match. And AJ Styles lost. And there was so much commotion going on outside of the ring that it caused a bit of distraction to AJ Styles, which I would say, as storylines go, that it's the thing that cost AJ Styles his match against Logan Paul, because Logan Paul was able to capitalize on it, and he won the match. So, I mean, nothing else I can really say about it. It was a solid match. And I really hope it's not the last time we see AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I'll say that too. And I'm very curious to see where AJ Styles goes from here. Up next, it was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and a new opponent. Now, originally it was Bayley. Now, this match was for the women tag team championships. Originally it was Bayley. WrestleMania night 1, Bayley gets hurt backstage, and my prediction in that is that it was Roxanne Perez that went after Bayley, took her out because of Roxanne Perez eventually coming to the main roster, and the possibility of them continuing this feud between Roxanne Perez and Bayley. I feel like it was Bayley. However, there is a slight chance. And I know I'm really reaching on this one. But it could have been Becky Lynch that attacked Bayley. I'm just throwing that out there. I really feel like it was Roxanne Perez who attacked Bayley. Keep Bayley away from winning a championship. If I can't win a championship, you can't win a championship, kind of thing, you know? So I'm reaching when I say Becky Lynch, but I'm really leaning towards it being Roxanne Perez, the one that attacked Bayley. But Becky Lynch is the one who filled in for Lyra Valkyria, and solid tag team match. Left Liv Morgan stunned that it was Becky Lynch returning, because Liv Morgan was bragging about how she took Becky Lynch out of WWE. And Becky Lynch was coming back to get some revenge, get on that, lay it out, and Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, they became new women tag team championships. And this Tuesday, on NXT, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch will defend their newly won women tag team championships for the first time against Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. That'll be a fun match to watch on Tuesday on NXT. Main event time. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Now, John Cena said it himself in many promos that he was going to ruin professional wrestling for us. And that's exactly what he did. It started with the entrance for John Cena. It was a very bland, very simple entrance. The screen was black. All it said was John Cena. John Cena on the ramp. It wasn't his usual like lights and brightness and colors and all that stuff. It was bland. It was black. And then the bell rings. Cody Rhodes, John Cena. John Cena just doing everything he needed to do, and that's necessary to win the WWE Championship. And that's exactly what he did. And with a little help from Travis Scott when he came out, John Cena became a 17-time world champion. And this is exact, and I've said this a couple of times on past episodes of Wrestling with Rumor, that this is, I want to see this, and now it's here, and now it's just a matter of, and now it's really, the question is the ride that we're about to take with John Cena as he calls himself the last real champion, and to see where this goes. As far as now, there are two promos. There are two promos that I want to... Actually, there are four promos that I want to hear. Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And John Cena said at the press conference, as he was saying every question that was asked, that people were asking him, was clickbait, which was great for him to do that. He said that he will be on Raw. So Monday on Raw, we will hear from John Cena about it. As far as Cody Rhodes, I don't think we'll hear from him until... If we don't hear from Cody Rhodes Monday on Raw, we'll probably hear from him Friday on SmackDown. But there might just be a couple of weeks where we don't hear from Cody Rhodes, where Cody Rhodes just needs a moment to allow it to all settle and figure out what he's going to say and what he's going to do next. As far as rematches go, I see two places where John Cena could possibly lose the WWE Championship. SummerSlam is one of them, and the other one could be we get to the last night of John Cena in WWE, and possibly it being Cody Rhodes that last night and him winning the last night. Or although, to see John Cena make it through the rest of the year with the WWE Championship and then retire still holding that championship, I kind of want to see that. I want to see it go all the way. And I even said that I want to see it go all the way. So John Cena has the championship. He's calling himself the last real champion. He now holds the record as most world heavyweight championships. So, John Cena, I gotta see him. I want to see him take it all the way. Let's see if he can go all the way with it. Before I go, I skipped a match and I want to go back to it. Penta versus Finn Balor versus Braun Breaker versus Dominic Mysterio. I totally skipped this match. I apologize. This match happened right after Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. After that match, it was that match for the Intercontinental Championship. And like I said, when this match was announced, I did say a couple of times in a couple episodes of Wrestling with Rumors to expect the unexpected. This was a great Fatal 4-Way match, and expect the unexpected. That's exactly what happened with Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, throwing Dominic Mysterio in this match felt like a wild card, and it really felt like it was either going to be Finn Balor or Penta. I never felt like Braun Breaker was going to walk out of WrestleMania holding the Intercontinental Championship. I always felt like he was going to lose the Intercontinental Championship in this match. But I was leaning more towards I was thinking more Finn Balor and Penta, and Dominic Mysterio being the wild card, which is why I repeated a couple times, expecting unexpected with Dominic Mysterio. And that's what happened. So, as far as Judgment Day business and what goes from here, I think Finn Balor, the last original member of the blood of Judgment Day, I think this is that last step that gets Finn Balor to leave the Judgment Day, or gets him kicked out of the Judgment Day. Either way, I think Finn Balor is about to step out of Judgment Day and just really be back to being solo. No faction or anything. He's done with that. I feel like it's just gonna be him again. And then I feel like a Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio match for the Intercontinental title is going to happen. And if it does, it's Backlash. Definitely Backlash. But that'll do it for this Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2 recap. An incredible weekend, right? So many matches, an emotional roller coaster, shocks and awes, ladders, tables, chairs. Oh my. Announce tables just blowing up the way they were. It was a great 2 nights. A great 3 nights, I will say, because SmackDown was a good time. The Hall of Fame was an emotional roller coaster, but still a good time. You had Stand and Deliver. You had 2 nights of WrestleMania, Saturday and Sunday. All in all, best weekend ever, you know? And for those who celebrated Easter and Passover, I hope you had fun. I hope you were safe. Because I know what I was doing this past weekend, watching WrestleMania. I know I was safe, and I know I was having a great time. But that'll do it for the recap. I'll see y'all tomorrow for a recap episode of Raw, and then on Wednesday I will have a recap episode of NXT. But for now, I'm Anthony K. Thomas of Wrestling with Rumors. And I will see y'all on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Appreciate all of you. Peace, y'all.